Hi folks, welcome to my Bit Retro Journal. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this First Dimensions video sports gaming console that I found. Initially when I got it, I thought, oh, this looks like a remake of something from back in the 70s, just because it has a very clear blue and red sticker, and it's in pretty good white shape, but it's actually the original unit. So this is what they looked like back in I think this came out in 1975, and it's basically sort of a pong tennis-ish kind of two-player game, player one, player two, and each player has two knobs, and you can go and I think it's horizontal and vertical, and you have different selections. So yeah, I just wanted to go and look at this. I probably got this a few years ago, and it was actually left to be thrown out, and I saw that and I just picked it up, and I did plug it in briefly, and it did seem to work, but I haven't done too much with it. It has a weird plug, just to demonstrate this. It's kind of interesting, this part here. Let me reverse it. This part here, let me see if you can see it. So it has a RCA, and it has a mini jack. So these aren't the 1/8 inch jacks, but they're actually smaller. And for me, in order to use it, I actually have to get a converter that converts an 1/8 inch to the really small one. And the only thing that's, I think when I cleaned it, the lettering here went away, so I just put in what it originally said. So that said 2 TV, and this said 9 volts. What's interesting about this unit is that this is actually composite. So back in 1975, this unit, I believe, came with a RF modulator that was external. And the way it worked is it plugged into the composite, and it turned the composite to RF, so you can use it for a TV. So interestingly enough, the composite was actually considered not very useful. It was just, this unit was cheaply made. They could get the composite signal out easily, but to actually hook it to any TV from the 70s, which didn't have composite in, you really needed to have that external RF modulator. So it's interesting that nowadays we do all these mods on our computers. I did one on the QL and on the Spectrum to actually get a composite signal out from the units, but this one actually has it. So kind of cool to think that what we think of as more modern was the composite signal actually predates, and this was an easier signal to come out with. Before I plug it in and try it out, what I want to do is I want to actually open it up. So let me turn this around and start seeing if I can take it apart. So it's a pretty flat, so I think it'll be fine if I just turn it around like this. And it's got 4 screws, and it actually says on here, let me just make sure you can see it. It says on here, accepted, and I think it says 1976 has a stamp on it. The stamp is only partially seen. Maybe I will show you the stamp while I have the ability. You can see that is a 6, 1976. We can zoom in on it too. So it says, partially see 1976 on that. All right. Let's put it upside down in view. Yep, as I said, it's got 4 regular old screws, and so I'm just going to see if this is going to be enough. I think I'm going to need to get a better screwdriver, so let me do that. Okay, well, I got the screw out, and I had to use a bigger screwdriver to get them out. Yeah, they're pretty substantial screws. So now I just need to lift out the board, and so this is actually sort of compressed cardboard, the kind of stuff you would see in like inexpensive kitchen cabinets. So the backing that you see usually in those. And it's pretty thick. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. So let's see what... Oh yeah, so this just kind of opens up. And basically just the speaker is the thing that's connected on this side. Let's lay this down. And so, yeah, what you have is your circuit board. It looks like everything is on the other side. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And again, I'm probably going to need the bigger screwdriver for that. Oh yeah, ooh, that's definitely in there. Screwdriver is just a little bit too yeah, let me do this again off camera because it's going to go a little quicker. I had to step it up and use one of these because the screws are really hard. So you can really hear them kind of break that seal. So this thing has never been opened up. I also took all the buttons off on the other side. They're just straightforward, simple buttons, and they didn't have a particular direction, so it didn't really matter. And then these were actually just sort of laying on here, and this had this underneath. That's what was holding it in place. So some styrofoam to keep the cabling in there properly. But yeah, so let's see what we got under here. Couldn't actually get this particular screw out. Oh, I don't know why. No, I was just in there tightly. Oh, let's not. Let's move these screws over here. Let's move this one over here. Okay, so we're just going to have to turn this board over. And wow, yeah. Let's see if you can see clearly. Let's zoom in a little bit on that. Yeah, so here we go. We've got, I think this is all logic chips. I think this is, there's no specialty ICs in here whatsoever. Let me see what those chips actually are. I'm going to have to probably get this closer to me. These are all Motorola chips. 14011C, and then so these chips right here all seem to be the same chips, so this might be memory. 114 Motorola MC14011CP, and they indeed are that. And again, same for these chips right here. They're all the same. So these three seem to be different, but I can't quite read what their markings are. I mean, it could just be that, so these are, again, MC 14011CP. This one isn't, but it could be that this is just a substitute chip. They didn't have them all. It says CD4017AE RCA. And then you have these two being the same. I mean, they're likely not memory. Maybe they're all. I'll put in the comments what they are if I can figure it out. But look at the circuit board. It's kind of interesting that it's. I'm sure you still see it. Yeah, kind of cool. You've got these two potentiometers, internal ones in here for some setting, and board looks good, but there's not a single IC in here. These are all just, well, I mean, there's not a single processor in here. It seems like they're all just maybe logic chips. Oh, I got one down here. What is that one? Let me take a look at that. RCA CA555CE 605. And then you have this is an interesting chip. Oh, this, yeah. So this is SSS is the brand, and SCL 4052A/SE 7540 49th week of 1975. Yeah, pretty old stuff. Sorry, I should keep it the way I had it so you can see it. Let me just zoom in on this, so for those of you that want to actually see more closely, since I don't do such a good job. Oh, yeah, so this says February 20th, 1976. All right, just a quick tour of the board. As I said, these are all MC141. They're the same. MC14016 CP. And these down here were 1C. Oh, it's hard to. MC14011 CP versus 16 CP. But generally, yeah, kind of this is the edge of the board. And then you have, yeah, so here's one of those, there's one right here. Sorry if I'm moving too fast. SCL 40225 B, it's B 7549. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, as I said, I already turned it on at one time, so I know that it works. But it looks like this looks very reminiscent to the original ZX81 circuit board that was hand drawn. So these look like they're hand drawn traces. This was a little company, First Dimensions in Nashville, Tennessee. So, and I made a couple of these consoles back in the mid '70s. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm going to put this back together and then we'll plug it in. So let me. I don't think it's going to be worthwhile to try to do this in front of the camera, because I think I'm just not going to have the. Just don't have the camera mounted to be able to do that kind of work without putting the, and I don't think these are in yet. I think the point is you got to get the I think what you need to do is get the buttons and everything lined up. Something's not working down here. Oh, there we go. So now it's back in place, and I can put the screws back in. I have one here. The case hasn't yellowed, so whoever had this before I got it certainly did not have it sitting outside. I suppose I could replace this weird connector with one more recent, but at the same time I kind of want to keep it to spec. And let's see if it still works. I did turn it on and it did seem to give me a signal, but yeah, let me put this back together. And when I come back, I'll have it plugged into the TV. So situated the camera in such a way that you can get to see both the unit and my small TV, LCD TV. So I have my power that also connects with that special plug. And I have an RCA cable to the composite input, and this TV is set to composite. Again, you've got, so this is the power on, so let's give it a try, see what happens. Oh, there, wow, it's not centered. Oh, so you do have these controls. Oh yeah, look at that, that works. So that centers it on the TV screen. Okay, and that moves Yeah, good. You have 2 or 4 player. Oh, I see. So you can have 4 player or 2 player, and then you have all different types of games. So I don't know what. So here you have. Not sure what. That's 2 player. So it seems like that switch needs maybe a little bit of. Oh, I see. That's a single. All right, so I get that now. So that's. So that should move it at all. It's funny though that does move this one, but it's almost like it's part of this. Yeah, so I think this switch kind of works, but kind of doesn't. Probably needs a little bit of cleaning. And how do you start? Oh, so you can do the speed. So how do you start the game? That's a good question. How do you start the game? There's no button here to push. I think you should just start. So maybe you start it out like that. Boom. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, it's got sound. Then you can do the 2-player mode or the 4-player mode. You get both of these. Makes it a little easier. All right, I got. Oh, I see. So you can see that. So the AI is really simple. They just have a very big paddle. And this is the only game that lets you do the AI stuff. Oh. I would say pretty good gameplay. It's moving fast enough. Oh, so I guess you can slow down the speed. Oh, wow. So that is fast. And then the really slow one was what I was playing. It's not an easy game. It's actually kind of fun. I mean, again, this is a 1975-76. And you really have to figure out a way to get it at an angle. So this was obviously designed to be played more with, as a family. And I did have, as a kid, my family did get one of these systems. It wasn't this one, but it had more sort of the back then wood grain was everything. I think it was fake wood, but I remember getting one that, this one actually looks kind of, still looks contemporary today, other than the big knobs, but just it being white and all. Now there's lots of screens jumping around, etc., but picture's good. Obviously no color, but the logic's working well. Nothing you can do about that. We finally are. Oh, and then. Well, is that the end of the game? So it's not moving anymore. I don't know why not. So let's do a B game. So this is definitely 2-player. But it didn't reset itself, so interesting. So it does that. Yeah, so that particular, so I don't know if that's a flaw or not. You can see that this particular one is not moving up in terms of, let's see what happens when the game is lost. Oh, and then it stops, yeah. And then no music. So let's try that again. So turn the game on. Let's see if we can lose. Should become pretty easy to no defense. Oh, there it goes. Just seeing if it actually nope, it doesn't go further. So there probably is a bug in this thing because it's not letting you score. Yep. So whoever this player is can't lose. Yeah. So So it's recognizing the beat, but it's just not incrementing the counter. Could be a bad logic chip. But it seems like it's going to do it for every game. Okay. It seems like it keeps the. Oh, here you don't even have an opportunity. So this is just practice. Oh no. Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, so that one does go up, but not the other one. So would have to debug what's going on here, but everything else seems to work. I mean, the audio works, just not the score for the. No, it's not. It's not, and I don't think. Will the game quit? Is it just not updating the? Or is the whole circuitry of? Oh, it's kind of funny. Where? Oh, here we go. Yeah, no, it's not. Definitely has gotten more. Yeah, would have to check it out. Anybody ever debug one of these things? It's funny how the paddles don't quite overlap. Is that true here as well? Yeah. But yeah, so there is a bug. I don't know what the bug is. It has to be maybe one of the logic chips just isn't doing the. I mean, he has to internally add to keep track of the score, and so very simple. And you know the other thing is you can't actually turn the volume down on these things. You can move off screen. Interesting. Just want to see again before if it actually will. And I think here's where it gets stuck. Yep, and so now it won't. Okay. Yep. So anyway, still a pretty decent find in that it kind of works. Would have to sort of figure out, and I mean, I looked at the circuit board. There wasn't any cut traces or anything. I mean, I didn't look at it that closely, but certainly, if it's one of the logic chips, I do have an EPROM, the TL. Is it 866 2 plus? And I can actually test the chips, but I'd have to actually unsolder each one of them. might be a bit more than I want to take on, just because it's a lot of work to try to unsolder that. But I'll take a look at the circuit board a little bit more when I have a bit more time. Just wanted to introduce this to you. It, like I said, it mostly works, and it's a really good shape. I mean, no yellowing or anything. The first dimension video sports pong console or tennis console made in 1975/76. So that's pretty cool. In any case, I will end here. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon.